Hello out there, and quick video today where I'm going to answer a question and then forward that question to all of you. And that question is, what are the knives that you had to buy twice? The knives that you decided that you were going to move on from, and then for some reason, you missed them too much, or just you realized you had to get it back in your hands and you bought the knife again. So I don't necessarily mean like, what kind of knives do you have multiple versions of with like a different variation, or even a knife that you had lost and had to buy again. You know, I have a number of different knives like that. But what I mean is, which ones have you actively decided to move on from and then realized you missed it so much that you just wanted to get the thing again? And I came across this idea in a comment, and it really might not have even been a comment on one of my videos. I don't even remember where I saw this, but someone mentioned this idea, and I just thought it was clever. I thought it was a cool thing to think about. And so I went through all my knives, and I found a few, not very many, and the one that really jumped out at me is the newest one to my collection, because it just conveniently happens to be one that was just released, the Paramilitary 2. So this PM2 in M4 with the DLC coated blade and Jade G10 scales, this one just came out. It's a Blade HQ exclusive, the limited sprint run that everybody goes crazy for because it's the Jade G10. And I got one because I hadn't had a Paramilitary 2 in a long time, and I wanted to get one back in my hands. You know, the last time I had a PM2 was a year and a half ago, and it was actually the Jade G10 satin version of this. And I sold that knife. Had not really used it all that much because I just thought it was a little bit larger than a knife that I would prefer to EDC would be. And so I sold it, and when this one was announced, you know, I decided, let's go for it and give the PM2 another chance. You know, my biggest complaint, apart from just being a little bit larger than my preference about the last one that I had, was that I thought that with the Jade G10 scales that a DLC coated blade would look a whole lot better than the satin. And so that's what I was sort of holding out for, and it took a year and a half, but it came. And what's interesting, what you really learn about yourself is that your preferences can evolve over time. And one thing that I've noticed about myself is around the time that I sold this PM2 the first time, you know, the satin one when I got rid of it, I was carrying knives that were all right around 3 inches or a little bit less. And something about 3.25 inches in blade length was about my max. And since then, you know, over the course of time, I've just started carrying some larger knives. For most people, still not a particularly large knife, but, you know, I carry up to 3.5 inch blades now, and 3.25 is more my sweet spot, whereas, you know, it used to be right around 3 inches. And so when I was thinking about that, I thought maybe I'm going to actually really like the Paramilitary 2 now. And you want to know what, guys? I do. I do. I really like it. I mean, I am addicted to this thing. I think this is an excellent knife. And it's just crazy to remember the person that I was not all that long ago who just didn't see any need for a Paramilitary 2 because it was just too big. Because for me, this knife is definitely not too big. So yeah, just a really interesting thing. And so this is the main knife that I'll always think about when it comes to the knives that I had to buy again. Now, there are two other ones that I've actually sort of been through the same thing with. One of them is the Benchmade 940. It's not going to be pictured because I've actually bought it and sold it twice now. And that's probably one that I'll end up with again in the future because as soon as I sold it, I sort of wanted it again. And that's one of those things where I guess maybe that's just a knife that's going to end up coming in and out of my collection over time. But it's an excellent model, so there's no doubt about that. It was just a matter of use that got me to sell the last one. So maybe eventually another one of those will come in. There is one other knife though that does fit that description, and it's the Kershaw Fraction. And this happened last year. You know, I bought the Fraction, the original one, which was like the black on black, and I liked that knife a lot. I gave it a very good review, very positive, and then I gave it away. And it was in the giveaway last year for the holidays, and as soon as I sent that knife away, I was upset that I had. and I wanted it again. And so when this blue one came out, I bought it. So there you go. And what's funny is I don't even know that I'm going to keep the blue one. I can tell you right now, I'm definitely going to keep this baby. But the blue fraction, that one might move on too eventually. So it's just interesting how, you know, some things are maybe not good enough to cherish while you have them, but as soon as you get rid of them, they're something that you needed and you miss immediately. So funny how that works, and that's what I want to forward to all of you guys. Like, has this happened to you before? And if so, with what knives? And let's just open it up. You know, if there is a knife that you lost and you decided you had to buy again, you know, let me know what that one is. Or just what knives you have a bunch of different versions of. You know, anything like this that has ever come up in your life, let me know about it in the comments down below. Really, really interested to hear about how this works in all your minds too. All right, and certainly wanted to give a shot of this new Paramilitary 2 because it is a really sweet blade. I do wish that the liners and the rest of it was DLC coated like on the inners, but it's all right. It's pretty smooth, so can't complain about that. Any other questions, comments, complaints, suggestions, let me know down below. If you are looking for the D2 testing video, that is coming soon, I promise. So we have that to look forward to, and I will talk with you soon. Have a good one, guys.